Good afternoon. Once again, it's 5:30 in the afternoon on a Friday. And of course, this is your host, Congressman Danny Davis, here listening and talking with you, the people. Let me apologize for being a trifle late, but I was just leaving a press conference that we had at Loretta Hospital with Reverend Jesse Jackson, State Representative Camille Lilly, and a number of other individuals talking about the health care bill that the House of Representatives passed on yesterday. Now, that's sort of an unfortunate piece of legislation. We passed it, but of course I voted against it, as you would have expected me to do, because basically it is a non-starter as a health care bill. It's more of a tax break or a tax giveaway for the most wealthy people in our country. And so I've put out a little statement saying, first of all, why I voted against the American Health Care Act. There are a number of reasons. First reason is that I've been involved with health care on a professional level now for a number of years, probably about 40 years. I started my involvement as the director of training at the Martin Luther King Health Center over on West Crenshaw Street, which was one of the early community health centers that got developed in this country under the Medicaid, Medicare, health initiatives that were started as a result of the movement. Martin Luther King, Dr. King, thousands of people marching, demonstrating, that whenever they decided to take a look at poverty, one of the effects and impacts of poverty was often poor health care. And so if you go into a poverty community, you are going to find lots of people with health needs that are not being met simply because they didn't have the money to pay for the care. Why don't we switch off right now and go to the phone and listen to our first caller, and then I'm going to come.
Davis.
Hey, James, how you doing?
Hey, now Nancy Pelosi and Jimmy Kimmel, they was right about Donald Trump going too far. They vote for him. They vote for him instead of voting for Hillary. And what they did, they had to celebrate yesterday. Donald Trump now and Paul Ryan, and I don't know why he went to with Donald Trump now. And since they vote for Donald Trump, like Joe now, they got him in there. Donald Trump gonna cut everything out, Colonel Davis. That's why they should get on their knees and pray to God, Colonel Davis. I hope you don't cut everything out, cause God is in control, Colonel Davis. Joe now had voted for Donald Trump. And that's why he gonna cut everything out. I hope he don't cut everything out, Congress Davis. And I hope y'all. That's why y'all I hope all the Democrats get together and keep Obamacare. And y'all doing a good job, Congress Davis.
Thank you very much. And I'm sure Nancy Pelosi was not in any way, stretch, faith, form, or fashion in support of hardly anything at all that Donald Trump has proposed, indicated he was going to do, or anything that he is doing. But there's been a long fight to get health care to the point where people in our country can think of it as being a right and not necessarily being a privilege. And we've been moving steadily in that direction. Obamacare, as people call it, and I'd rather call it Obamacare, cared enough to put together the most comprehensive health package that we had had since Medicare and Medicaid. I got another caller on the line, so let me go right to the phone and hear what our caller has to say. Caller, are you there?
Hello, how you doing, Congressman?
I'm doing good.
I have a little short question I want to ask. I wanted to know why so many millionaires running for office now. What are they trying to do to us?
I think, and you make a very interesting, valid point. Now, we've always had some wealthy people
True, like
who,
Kennedy.
yeah, the Kennedys, we've had the Rockefellers, we've
Right,
had others, but they were more moderate type wealthy
right,
people
right,
who used their wealth and influence not only to make money for themselves, but also to try and improve the lot of people.
right.
I'm not sure that many of these very wealthy people today are cut from the same cloth.
No, they're not. And Trump, he wasn't even a politician. And Arnold Schwarzenegger wasn't a politician. Jesse Body Ventura wasn't a politician.
Yeah.
Sonny Bono, it goes on. There's a lot of guys just hopped in and became politicians.
Well,
That's not fair.
I think part of it is that there is a moneyed class that wants to be in control of public policy decision making.
Hmm.
And one of the best vantage points for them to do that is to be in elected office.
Right.
We look at the governor of Illinois, who has already put $50 million into his campaign fund
Right.
for re-election.
Use that for the schools. Yeah.
So, and he's not the only wealthy person from around the country. And so, unless we take some of the money out of politics, pretty soon the only people who will be able to run are people who are wealthy. There won't be any people like me
Right.
elected to say a high level of office like to Congress, because in some of these congressional districts, people spend millions of dollars to get elected. I've never seen millions of dollars. I've never had millions of dollars.
This guy Pritzker, he's in the drug industry, right?
Well, he is actually diverse in terms the Hyatt hotels are owned by the Pritzker family.
Okay.
And he's also got other kind of businesses and holdings, but they are they are mostly known as the owners and developers of the Hyatt hotels all over the world.
Right.
So, and I'm not saying that's going to make him a bad fella. I haven't made a decision about who I'm going to support
Right.
in the gubernatorial election, but I'm not going to sit on the sideline, because on the sideline, it's like watching a basketball game or a football game. If
Right.
you're not in there pushing and scraping, you can't really affect the outcome of it. So I'm going to support somebody, but I just don't know who yet.
I understand.
All right, well, thank your call. I think it's a very astute observation that these wealthy people are trying to control public policy more than what they've already done. So let's go to our next caller. Caller, are you there?
Hey, Danny, how's it going?
Okay, how are you?
Last time I spoke to you was right before you went to the Obama's farewell speech.
Oh, okay.
Too.
Well, Obama is back now with his library, the presidential library. There's a lot of interest surfacing because they're going to bring a fair amount of money and a number of jobs to Chicago to build that library. They're saying that it's going to be 45% minority involvement. Now, I just hope that when they say minority involvement, that they're talking about African American males, they're talking about Hispanics, they're talking about everybody, and that a majority of the minority involvement will not be what we call women-owned businesses owned by white women.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the reason why, main reason why I called was I do agree. I am in support of the new health care bill. I'm glad Donald Trump did replace the Obamacare because the premiums were going up. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody can afford that. And why are we paying these taxes, you know what I'm saying, for these people, these low-income people who want to get fake hair and be on Facebook all day, but then they don't want to get any money. They ain't even trying to get in school. I'm not trying to sound like Al Sharpton or anything like that, but I'm tired of paying my hard-earned tax dollars for these people.
Are you suggesting,
And why he did this.
I agree that there are some low income people who don't put forth enough effort or as much effort as they could. But you're not really saying that all of these low income people don't deserve some of the benefits from government, are you?
No, I'm not saying that in particular, but I'm talking about the ones who are trying. Like, let's say if they're working at McDonald's or, Taco Bell or something, they got 3 kids and they really trying. You know what I'm saying? Those are the ones. But however, I'm glad we shouldn't have to pay the penalty because we don't have the insurance. Cause not
But
that we
what
don't
about
believe
people
in
who
having it.
are disabled? I mean, do
Okay.
you know that much of the Medicaid money is used to pay for health care for
Well, it
people
comes
who
out
are
of most of our
disabled?
pockets, though, too. You know
What
what I'm
about the
saying?
people in nursing homes? See, I think when you
I
really
think
think about it, the average person who lives in a nursing home cannot afford to do so out of their pocket. It's
right.
just too expensive. So we'd
Yeah,
have
it
to
is.
turn our own homes when our relatives got old and sick. We'd have to take care of them at home if
But
we didn't
that's
use.
true.
Go ahead.
That's true, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying? That's why our parents and my grandparents told me, save while you're young. You know what I'm saying? Because, stuff like this may happen, but we spend our money on silly stuff. That's why we can't afford insurance. We can spend our money on loud packs and Jordans, every pair of Jordans that come out, but we can't afford to pay our mortgage. I read. We
Uh,
can't afford to pay health care. And I'm sick of it.
all
And that's
right.
why I'm agreeing with Donald Trump.
We hear
This
you.
this Obama library is going to cost us a lot of money. I'm not paying for that. It's BS.
All
I'm
right.
supporting this man.
Okay. Thank you so much. Let's hear what this next person has to say. Caller, are you there?
Hey, good evening, Congressman.
Okay. How are you?
Okay, say I'd like to piggyback off your last couple of callers who were talking about the millionaires that are running for political office these days.
Yeah.
They all seem to have, I want to think, special interests, and their interests are globally oriented. Not so much as just nationally oriented. And so they bring so many foreigners and distress, I want to say new citizenry.
Well, let me ask you, do you think they ought to be elected?
Well, I mean, it seems like they're just pretty much following the order of rule as to how politics work. If they can get a constituency to support them, then they can get elected. And that's what Donald Trump did, and that's what these all of the new ones seem to be doing, and they're bringing foreigners in to do it. With the promise that they'll become citizens, and while the indigenous people that are here are too busy doing, trying to survive until they maybe not even knowing the Pledge of Allegiance like foreigners learn.
All right.
As new
What's
citizens.
our alternative? What can we do about it?
Create more Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, and civic organizations for the youngsters to be reorientated.
And we can vote against those that we don't agree with.
Well, these youngsters need to be orientated on how to become a constituency to vote against that.
I'd much rather have somebody that I felt was on my level of being representing me than someone that I felt was in a different place because I think that person is more likely to think like me than somebody else would be. And
Well,
so,
when Obama was coming into office, his thing was that he wanted to create so many millionaires. I mean, I used to think that these millionaires would be cut from the same political organizing types of groups that he came from.
all right.
And there you go.
See, I would never run on a platform of wanting to create so many millionaires because I don't think people have to be millionaires.
Well,
And since I'm not a millionaire and never will be a millionaire,
it's a novel thought.
yeah, I don't think
You
that
tell folks out in the street trying to be millionaires, and they're living like millionaires. It's from a Hollywood standpoint, but the riches come from within.
But I do want everybody to have adequate health care. I do want everybody's child to have a good school to go to. That I want.
That should be the ultimate plan right there, master plan.
All right. Well, thank you very much. We're going to take another call right quick. Caller, are you there?
Yes, good evening, Congressman Davis. I
Yes.
just want to say how very, very thankful I am that the next to the last caller called in support of what President Trump has done. And I'll explain why. I'm one of many, many people out there who was born into what you would call a lower middle class home, or however you want to term it, but it was stressed to us how important it was to get out there while you were young and work any job that you could get, an honest job, and keep at it and sock away your money, live within your means. And when we paid insurance premiums for years, I don't begrudge anybody some basic services, but there are lots of people who just get on a gravy train of never-ending government programs, and that just isn't right. You can be helped. You can be helped in life, and I would encourage everybody to have their children take advantage of it, getting vaccine shots and that. But for those of us who paid and not reap much in the way of any government benefits, what is wrong with saying, look, there has to be some point where particularly people in their prime earning years, younger people, to take some kind of job. And you're not always going to be offered the job that you think you should have. Everybody thinks that, too many chiefs and not enough Indians. And so it's nice to hear somebody, obviously, I don't know obviously, but I'm a white person. That guy sounded like a black person. And it's nice to know that there are people out there like that, because there's a lot of opinions. And I do think that Congressman Lipinski and yourself should have gone to, or I should say Congressman Lipinski should have gone to Trump's inauguration. I think that might come back to haunt him. But you're a good guy, obviously, and I would encourage you to tell people, again, get to those job fairs, keep walking away. Someday they might do very well and do what they want with their money. God bless you. Have a great day.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate your call. I appreciate your position. And I have a strong work ethic. As a matter of fact, I believe that work is an absolute virtue, and that those individuals who are not able or not into work are missing one of the greatest fulfillments of life, and that is a feeling of being a contributor, that you are contributing to the well-being of the environment of which you're part. We're going to have to come back to this subject next week, because I really want to explore it some more, and I want to hear what people are saying about it and thinking about it. Unfortunately, our time is about up, but this is a very interesting subject, and so let's stay paused for next week so that we can explore it some more. Thank you all for your call. It's time for me to go, but I'll see you next week. Have a great week, and I'll see you then.